Okay, so we're going to be making a rag quilt, and I've had a couple people ask me how I do it, so I figured when I made this one, I would share the how-tos and whatnot so that somebody could do it. So the first thing that you want to do is get some fabric, and then for this particular pattern that I sketched out, you'll need some 4-inch squares and some 3-inch squares, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But you're gonna do all your prep work by cutting them down to the size of square that you need. Like I said, this will be 4-inch, and then we have some 3-inch squares also that are just a little bit smaller. And so this is the pattern that we're doing, and I sketched it out on the S note on my note 2. So you can do that, or you can, get some boxed paper, or you can buy a pattern too, I guess. Feel free to use this one if you want to make it, but this is what we're making. And for these up here, you're going to need 4-inch squares. This counts as a square. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares. Mine, I'm actually doing a border on the outside that is not included in this, and so mine's actually 12 squares, but everything else is pretty much the same. And then for the solid blocks, like these, you need 3-inch squares for those. Okay, and so this is, a really pretty design, and so is this. And the way that you do that is, see this square right here would be a 4-inch square, and you're going to cut it in half diagonally, and you're going to use part of a green square and part of a blue square, the halves of them. And so what you're going to do is you're going to cut them in half, like this. See, this is a half. So you have 2 halves, and you're going to put them, you're going to line up all the edges, and you're going to put them together like this, so you have orange on one side and purple on the other. And that's not lined up very good, but you would want to line it up perfectly. Sorry, it's hard to hold the thing and show. And then you're going to do a 1/4-inch line right down the side of this in the sewing machine. So your sewing machine would be, about like that. Now keep in mind that I'm showing you, and that's not even. So I'm not actually going to sew that. But once you get it sewed, you'll have something that looks like this, which is it all put together. And oh, I forgot a step. Once you get these squares all cut out, you're going to want to sandwich them, and that just means do a 1/4-inch square all the way around each one. So that's why you see a square on this one. But all of them will have the square, and you do that before you cut anything or do anything other than you cut out your square and the size that you need, and then you immediately sandwich them. And then when you cut them in half, you'll notice that I cut right through that. And that's the best way to do it. So once you have this, you're going to cut these little bunny ears off. Just cut it off just like that. And when you do, it will now look like this, which is now a 3-inch square to go with all your other 3-inch squares. So, sorry about my fingers getting in the way of the camera. So, then you're going to come over to your pattern, and I like to use something to, sorry, my hair is everywhere, to block where I'm at. Right now, I'm currently right here, so I'm on this line, and that way I can keep it all even, or you can X them out as you go, because I just print it out on paper once I figure out what I'm doing. And you just, like I said, I have a border on mine. As you can see, this is a border, but you're just going to, let me get this so it's easier. So, like this block, you're going to put it here. And then the next one's a solid. So you have a solid purple. And then you have, you know, a half and half again. And so you have a half and half. And you just do that all the way across. And, you know, it'll start coming together. And then when you go to put this all together, you're going to bring up each side. I actually fold it over, but basically you're going to want to, and some people do pins, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try to figure out how to do this one, is you're going to bring, Jason, will you help me with this? Yeah. I just need to bring each side up so that it's laying flat, but that they can see that it's bunched together like these are.
Like that?
No, just the sides, like this. So you would pin it like that. See how he's got it? And then you would just sew right down this so that you have a bunched up area. Like I said, I flip them over and I just make sure that as I go, that when I lay it flat, that it's stitched just like this. Okay? So what I do is I lay out, make sure I've got this all the right way, because otherwise I'll go to sew it in a minute and it won't be how it needs to be. So what I do is I lay out all my pieces for each row in the order that they go in, just like a puzzle, and then I sew that whole row together so that I have one long strip. And then I use the same concept for here. Then I take my row that's sewed together and I bunch it up like this and I pin it and I attach it to the entire quilt all the way down. Now, once you get all of your blocks on and you have it all nice like this, then what you're going to do is you're going to take these, I'll go to this one I guess, or this one, and you're literally going to take a sharp piece of scissors and you are going to snip every like 1/4 of an inch so that this becomes one big fray. And you're going to do that on all these squares. You're going to do it down this one and down this one, this one, this one. What I do is I just do one big line at a time and I flip it sideways and I do it the other way, all the way down. But you can do it however you want to do it. And you're going to want to do like 1/4 inch snips or whatever size snips. You want to be careful not to cut into your seam. You just want to snip the fabric so that it's all nice and frayed. And here, I can do one for you real quick so I can show you actually. But I have to set the camera down, so maybe I might. Oh. Yeah, I have to set it down because this thing is not. Anyway, so okay, so I snipped one, and I am in the way of my thing. Okay, where is it? It's right here. Okay, so see how I snipped all of that? That's actually going to fray and become your ruffle. So once you snip the whole thing, then you're going to throw it in like a washer and dryer, and it's going to give you the finished, ruffled up, lovely rag design that you, that is why we call it a rag quilt. So it'll give you a nice raggy ruffled look to all of these little edges. In the back you can either do smooth or you can do it ruffled also. This one's going to be ruffled also, and so like these diamonds will be ruffled and the rest of it will be smooth. I actually did the exact same pattern on the back as the front, except for how I have it ruffled. But you can actually make it a solid color back, or basically whatever you want. So that's it, and I'll show you my thing again. This is the pattern again that, like I said, I sketched it out. I combined it with a couple different things that I saw on the internet and just went with it and just kind of made it my own. That's really it. And if you'd like to see this when finished, I'll post a link in the description box once it's all completed, which it will be done today. So even though this video might upload within a couple hours, there'll be a link to where you can actually see the finished quilt completely done. And yeah, that's it, because I'll have it posted on my Facebook, and I'll do a little link so you can go and look at it yourself. And that's it. I hope you have fun with your quilt. And like I said, you don't have to do this design. This is basics for a rag quilt in general. So if you wanted to just not look at the pattern at all, and you just wanted to do, actually the pattern is probably going to be easier to look at, but if you just wanted to do orange and blue, orange and blue, orange and blue, orange and blue, or just dark blue, light blue, dark blue, I mean, you can do that too. Or if you wanted to do it all just one color, you could do that too. The rag effect works either way. This one just happens to have a design on it. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and if you make one of these and you want to share it with me, please post the link in the comments and I'll go check it out, because I'd love to see other people's stuff that they make too. Thanks. Bye.